Hello everybody and welcome to a new video. So for today's video I thought we could do some specific book recommendations. Now these are not going to be like super specific, but a little bit more specific than like typical book recommendations, I would say. I've got a little list here of all of the books or all of the like scenarios, I guess, that I want to talk about. And I think these are perfect for mood readers because there will be something in here that you will probably like. First of all, I had the idea to recommend a book for every season. So we've got 4 books. I don't have the physical copy of one. For spring, I would recommend The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This is a fantasy series, but the world is so whimsical and like just so great. Fairies and humans, and it's super sweet and cool. It's also a series that you could get into, which is very fun. Next up for summer, I actually have 2 books, but that's because one of them is in German and because not everybody can speak German. And I don't think it has been translated yet. I also want to give a recommendation that is in English. So the German recommendation is Camp Rainbow. I talked about this in my last reading wrap-up. And this one is basically about a summer camp called Camp Rainbow. And it is just a summer camp for queer kids, and it's so sweet, so cool, really fun, and just a perfect summer setting. The English book that I would like to talk about is Funny Story by Emily Henry. This is definitely one of the more popular books on my pile, but it's so worth it. It's super fun. It's just a very fun concept because you have 2 different relationships that ended badly, and the like exes got together, and so the 2 protagonists end up being roommates, and that's the setting. It's so fun, such like fun small town vibes, and it's also a funny story. Best joke I ever made. For fall, it's also a popular book, but I feel like there's always somebody who hasn't read it. It is The Hunger Games by Susan Collins. This is also a series, and there are still books coming out every now and then, so that's fun. And this is basically about a world where the country we're following is divided into 12 districts, and every year there are the so-called Hunger Games, and that's basically the game where people from each district get put into like an arena, and then they have to fight, and the last one who survives is the winner. That's basically the vibe, and it is a very good book. I also think like fantasy in general is always good for fall, so this one. And last but not least, for winter, I have a Christmas book that I love. I read this one last year. It's called The Nightmare Before Christmas, and it's kind of also a little bit fantasy-esque, but not really. I mean, kind of, but it's basically that all of the holidays are represented by people, and you have the Prince of Halloween and the Prince of Christmas or something. There is a bunch of stuff going on. It's super fun, Christmas time, very fun. They do a bunch of super cool, just Christmassy activities. Oh my god, my brain is not working today. Now next up, I have a book that will transport you into another world, and that is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. There is a series that comes before this one, and they're like connected, which is the Caraval series. If you want to read that one first, I would recommend that because you get a lot of characters that, well, you get some characters that appear in this book, so that's definitely fun, but you can also just read this and not care about the other series, because this one is definitely like, the world is just so fun and whimsical and absolutely gorgeous. The characters are so fun, and the storyline is great. This is also a trilogy, so if you get hooked, you can just deep dive into the series. It's so worth it. This cover basically says it all. It's just so gorgeous. Like, it's just amazing. If you like gaming, maybe not like super brutal games, but if you like, I don't know, some chill games, I would recommend Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. This one is also pretty popular, and it's basically about these two people who like randomly cross paths, and then, you know, there's kind of like you get them in the past and in the future, but it's mainly set in the future, in the present actually. And they kind of develop a game, and it's super fun and really cool. It's definitely more literary fiction, so if you like literary fiction, it's just, it follows their lives as they develop games and stuff. But when you say it like that, it sounds kind of boring, but it's really fun because the characters are just super interesting and cool. And now I have a book that will keep you on the edge of your seat. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson is the way to go. This is also really popular. I just realized that I have a bunch of really popular books on here, but they deserve the hype, so it's fine. This one is basically about a girl named Pip, and she has to do a school project, and for her school project she decides to uncover a mainly unsolved mystery of a murder case that happened, I think, 5 years ago. And this was so interesting because you keep getting these little hints and you keep forming an idea in your head, and it's just super crazy. Next up, I thought we could do a book that is kind of a slice of life, just a fun little book to read if you want to read just something, I don't know. And that is The Story Life of AJ Fikry, also by Gabrielle Zevin. She's a good author, okay. And this book follows a bookshop owner called AJ Fikry, obviously, and that's basically it. You just follow him through his life of owning this bookstore, and it's so fun. There's this child that gets like left in his bookstore, and then he takes care of it, and it's so sweet and just a very good story. It's also pretty short. Also, can we take a quick appreciation moment for the nails? They're so cute. I love them. Okay, that's not the point. Next up, I have a non-fiction book that I think everybody should read, and that is Fix the System, Not the Women. I do not remember who it's by, but I will pop it up on the screen. And that is so good. It just basically talks about how, you know, society tells women that they are kind of in the wrong, but the system of, not just society, but just the system in general is actually the problem. And that is such a good book. I would definitely recommend that to anybody because it's super good. And it's also, I feel like we should have non-fiction on here because sometimes you just need something that's like real, you know? So would recommend that one. Next up, we have a book that is for the people who love the drama. They just want to know the tea, and that is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This is like an OG book talk book, but I would still recommend it because I feel like a lot of people just think that it's like an overhyped book talk book, but it's actually so worth it. It's so good. This is basically about Evelyn Hugo and her 7 husbands, but you get so much drama in this book, so much just crazy stories. This is like, she was basically a really famous actress, I think, in the 50s, in the 50s, and then years later she finally talks to somebody, like a journalist, I think, about all of her life, and it's so good. So you basically get her life, but you also get like some of the journalist's perspective, and it's super cool. Now I've got 2 books that I feel like are kind of similar from the premise, but also not, because I have a book that is like, and it has an academic setting and one that has a workplace setting, so you know, it's kind of the same but just for different ages. And the academic setting is Nobody in Particular by Sophie Gonzalez. First of all, this cover is gorgeous. I love it. It's so beautiful. And this is a boarding school setting, and it deals with a princess and just some random girl from that school, and it's so fun. I just read this one this month and I love it. It is so good. I'm so obsessed with this. It's just, I can't even explain it. It's just really good. The school aspect of it is obviously a big part because it's a boarding school, but it's also not like such a big part where it's like, you know, they go to class every day and it's really boring. It's still very cool and fun, and also has a lot of drama and a good relationship. It's so good. And now for the workplace setting, I've got Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. So this one is also just about a woman in STEM and how she works at on a project at NASA, and it's so fun. She like chats to somebody online and also has this rival at her work situation. It's super fun, super cool. Sometimes you just want a book that will get you thinking, you know? And that is Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. She's a pretty famous author, but I don't feel like anybody ever talks about this book, and this is one of my favorites by her. Honestly, it's so good. It's basically about a woman who makes a decision, and based off of that decision, her life turns out really kind of different, and you follow two different timelines of her life if she made that decision or not, and it really gets you thinking like how small decisions can impact your life so severely, and this is super good. I don't really know if my little title for this category is really right to explain this book, but I call it a modern day fantasy. And we've got Percy Jackson by Rick Riordan, also a very popular book, but I mean, rightfully so, it's really good. So what I mean by this is that, you know, fantasy books usually take a lot of brain power because of the world building, and this one is not so complicated to get into because you basically are set in today's world, but there are just fantasy elements that get added, like Greek gods, because this is based off of Greek mythology. So that is super fun. It's really cool. You got a cool quest going on, some cute friendships evolving, and it's just very good. Would recommend. Also, just a good series, you know. It's a classic, but rightfully so. Let me know if you've read any of these, and if you have any more book recommendations for any of these specific topics, or if you would like me to do another video like this where you give me some premises that can be even more specific. So let me know about that. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, maybe like, comment, or subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye!